Hello, and in this training video, we will cover employees. To access your employee listing, you're going to go to your admin area, and on the left, select Employees Roles, and then Employees. This will list all of your employees. It defaults to active, but if you need to see all or any inactive employees, you may change these tabs as necessary. To add an employee, you're going to select the Add button in the top right. Any required information will have a red asterisk. There are additional fields depending on how full you want this employee file to look. In this case, the only two required fields are listed as first name and last name. If you would like to add in a photo of the employee, you can do that here on with additional options. You can also add in these other fields as necessary. Once you have filled in what you would like to, you will select your Login Details tab. Within the Login Details tab, the username is not unique to your practice. Usernames are shared across Revolution EHR and Revolution PHR. You will need to make sure the username you select is unique to that specific employee within all Revolution users. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and enter in my username so you can see the message you will receive if it's incorrect. For temporary password, we suggest a generic password that you can provide to the employee that they can change. I am using Revolution 21 as this is Revolution and we're in the year 21. Allow emergency access will allow this employee to access the system outside of these login restrictions you can set. If the employee has allow emergency access, they can log in regardless of these restrictions with a special URL. The login restrictions can be changed per employee based on the times you want them to access the system. Maybe this employee does not work on the weekends. We can remove logins. And perhaps this employee only works in the afternoon. I can type in 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., so on and so forth, depending on when you want them to access the system. Your next tab is User Roles. This is an important area to make sure you're selecting the permissions this employee has within the system. We always suggest having 2 system administrators to assist your office in resetting passwords. Other than that, you do want to make sure that your user roles are set to what is needed in your office. For additional information on user roles, please see our video, User Roles. In this case, maybe this new employee is our new receptionist. I can go ahead and select receptionist. Also, you may see your user roles look different from mine. Mine have been customized from my location. Our next required tab would be Location Access. You need to select the primary location for that employee. If you are a multi-location practice, you will see all practices listed. If you are a single location practice, you can just still select the single location. For multi-location practices, on the right, you will have accessible locations. Here's where you can select other locations you want that employee to have access to. If the employee does not have access to one of the specified locations here, they will not be able to access the schedule, the reports, or the patients located at that practice. Your next tab is your preferences. These preferences pull directly from your admin general practice preferences. You can change the preferences for each employee as necessary, but this is not required. If your new employee is a provider, you want to make sure under Provider Details you select Employee is also a provider. If you select this option, you will need to select a provider type. In this case, I'm going to select Optometrist. This display color will display the font on the schedule of whichever option you select. Therefore, selecting anything about hire from this level will be quite hard to view on the schedule. Please be aware this does not change the slots or the encounter colors, only the font on the schedule for that provider. If you'd like to add in any descriptions, and if you want these to be visible within the patient portal, you can select this and fill in the description. If you'd like to add in a provider photo, you're more than welcome to. Mainly here, you would like to upload a signature. Signatures can only be uploaded as a JPEG, a GIF, or a PNG file. Do not upload a PDF here. For additional information on uploading signatures, please see our knowledge base. On the right, you have your NPI. You will want to make sure to put the provider's NPI here to ensure it will pull forward to any claims. Your last tab is your external system IDs. This was used for RxNT and RevDirect. If you're using either one of those, you will simply select Enabled and enter in the required information. Once you have filled out all of these required tabs, you will select Save to save that employee. In this case, I know that that username was not available as it is my username. It'll let you know immediately if that does not work. You can select OK, head back into Login Details, and change this username as needed to allow the employee to be added. Once you've added the employee, you'll get your success message in the top right. To access your employee listings, select All Employees, and you'll see that employee listed. If you have any employees that are no longer with the practice, you can always deactivate them. Here is that employee we created. Let's say that they are no longer with the practice or they never started. We can select the deactivate option to the far right. That will remove that employee from our active list and put them in our inactive list. Within all of these listings, you also have a gear icon in the top right that will allow you to export your employee list as necessary. This concludes our video on employees. Please remember to use our knowledge base and contact support for additional assistance.